Good morning. We're live. I can never not get excited about going live. So stop. I know you're scrolling and ask yourself, have you ever struggled with, especially this time of year when it's all about being thankful, the whole Thanksgiving season, and of course, all into the holidays? I know I have struggled. It can be a daily struggle, but stay tuned, and we're going to give you some tips and some secrets from a wise sage, friend, philosopher, spiritual leader, and she also happens to be my mentor and the creator of the industry I'm in, staging. Barb Schwarz, will you please join us?
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Welcome, Barb. Thank you so much for taking time. You look fabulous, and I love the curls.
I love the curls.
You just briefly, to everyone who's watching this on the replay or what have you, Barb and I go back about 10 years. When I decided I wanted to get into the staging industry, I researched who was the creator, and I did not want to take training from anyone other than the creator. So I waited till the course came to Dallas, which is about 3 hours from me, and took my course with her. The rest is history. I am, by the way, Kat with Tada Next Level Staging and Design. And with me is Barb Schwarz, the creator of Home Staging. And Barb, we've got a topic that's, like most things, have a yin and a yang. And I know through your experience and your enlightenment, which is one of the things really honestly that attracted me to your organization and your training, et cetera, it is because you went beyond just the logistics of staging, the power of three, and you never get a second chance for a first impression, and all those what I call Barbisms, which are golden. But you went beyond that in every one of the conferences and trainings that I was at, which really resonated with me because, making a living is part of what we do. Living our passion and loving what we do is amazing, and it's awesome that more people can do that. But on a very pragmatic standpoint, navigating and thriving, not just surviving with our relationships, our finances, 2020, family, all of that can be daunting and challenging because most of us don't have a degree in psychology or things beyond psychology, et cetera. So with that, Barb, I'm going to let you have the floor and just parlay into whatever I didn't add on your most illustrious credentials, et cetera. And then let's just start to take a deep dive into today's topic, which is how to give thanks and be thankful, especially when it's challenging, when it's hard, because quite honestly, it's easy to be thankful when everything is coming up roses, but quite often it's not. So Barb, you've got the floor. Welcome.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. And I'm very grateful for you asking me and for you. We've known each other a long time, so thank you. And as I thought deeply about what we would be talking about today, I want to talk really about not only gratitude, because we'll get there, but also how do we function with everything going on that this year, I can hear my grandpa, who's no longer with us, saying, wow, this year came out of left field. That's, really the truth in so many levels. And so as I thought about talking and visiting with you, I like to have little triggers that keep me on track. And I thought I would share those with you along with some other ideas. And so it's really about living in the moment and as you get up in the morning, think about what is it I really am looking forward to today, and look for what you want, not for what you don't want. And when you think you can, you can. And when you think you can't, you can't. And so, for example, as I was getting dressed this morning, I thought, I want to share this with you all, is when we get up in the morning and eat breakfast and whatever your order of the day is, why we put on our clothes and we put on our shoes and we put on our makeup and work on the hair and that kind of thing. And so what I decided to do quite a long time ago, and I really need to think about it, is without concentrating on it, it may not take place. In addition to your clothes and your jewelry and your shoes and any makeup and the hair, I want you to say, what type of attitude am I carrying today? What type of attitude am I wearing today? Because that's more important, really, than, the makeup and the hair and the shoes, etc. Obviously, we need the clothes when we're out of the house. But I ask you, please, please, every day and throughout the day, do a self-attitude check on yourself. I really have found through the years that I've become a behaviorist. And you know what? You are too. Even maybe you haven't identified it, but we see the behavior of other people. How do we respond? What's our reply? What are we thinking? And how can we learn from what we're observing? And I really believe we need to observe ourselves. You really want 100 people criticizing you? No, and you don't need to criticize yourself either. It's about doing checks throughout the day. You check that you ate lunch. You check that you had some coffee. Well, check what attitude you have in that moment. And should it be one that you know in your heart is not where you want to be, then you need to change. Just like the remote on the TV, it's time to get a new channel. Maybe you go in the back deck or the patio or up in the air with the condominium, which are wonderful, and take some air. Go from a different room. Maybe you go in and change a pair of shoes or something else. It's all about attitude and where you are.
That is so, so true, Barb. And I love how you put it, and I think it was Tony Robbins talks about that, through his lessons, is like you said, change the dynamic, take a deep breath,
right?
Sing a song, get some air. Because you have the power, we have the power to change our attitude like this.
It's true.
Like this.
The desire is so important. What are your desires? Do you really want to be in a funky mood? Well, should you, then go for it. How long will that last, though? How long do you want to be in a funky mood or a bad mood? And so as we do checks on ourselves, it's like, well, I've had it with this. I've got to change the channel. And I sometimes just pick up the remote and look at it and think about, okay, I have a remote for my brain, basically. And also my heart and my spirit. And singing, you said that, I love that so much. Because sing a song, it's really true. And last night, our Seahawks in Seattle beat the Cardinals in Arizona. And do you know what our quarterback said? Our wonderful quarterback, Wilson, he said, he was being interviewed afterwards because we did win. And he said, you know what? I sing a lot before I'm in the huddle. I sing before I throw the ball. Whether he's doing
I love it.
Isn't it great? It's really great.
It's magical. I read not too long ago, or maybe I had seen a video of it, of Alzheimer's, senior with Alzheimer's, who they brought in song and they knew every word of the song. There's something magically connected in us with music, and we don't have to know words. It can be, my granddaughter does gobbledygook words, and boy, does she not have an ear, but that's okay. I told Jeff, that's okay. She wants to sing. She can't tell that she's off key. We'll get her some lessons, but don't stop her from singing.
Oh, never. And I'm so glad you said that, sweetheart, because when we're observing while I am in this mood, just get up and walk around and start singing and put some music on and start dancing. I dare you to dance and go woo all over the room and feel bad. I mean, seriously.
Right.
So sing and jump around and get some air, whatever. You're going to find you feel so much better. It's really true. It's really true. Now, one more word I want to add before we go to where we're headed about, the holidays and all the things that are going on, is really the key to all this and changing where we are in our mind and our spirits is creativity. It is a supreme gift that you and I have been given. And every situation you're in that you're not happy about, what I ask you to do is flip that channel and think about opportunities and start brainstorming, saying them out loud. You could take a felt pen and write it on your window. It's really true, because you want the kind that you can wash off, but still. And as you do that, creativity, this is your opportunity, I really believe, with all the things in the world, is to be more creative than you've ever been. Think about what you can do right now to, really make some situations that you're not happy about even better. And what we do is we get stuck in this mud. We might wear a mud mask, but I haven't for a long time, but we don't want mud all over us. And so the thing is, what can I do? And as you let the barriers loose, you can do anything you want. You can create everything you want. And you might say, well, with COVID, I can't. That's not true. The greatest gift you have is right on the inside of you. You are your own guru. And remember that.
Absolutely. And we're all creative, aren't we, Barb?
Yes.
Not designers and stagers and painters. We all have a creative essence. The very fact that we would be moved and take action to sing and dance, I don't care how perfectly imperfect, because that's what my granddaughter, she sings perfectly imperfect. That's creation. And where could that go? My dad go ahead.
Everywhere. Sing as though no one can hear you, and dance as though no one can see you.
Yep. And
say what you want to get off your chest. And verbally, it really helps us heal, to get it out of us. And that creativity, just keep saying all day long, oh, I'm so grateful for that takes us to grateful, my creativity. I'm so grateful for ideas that come. And I really want to zone on this now by living in the moment, by figuring out what you're wearing for an attitude. And when you don't like it, change it. Change your attitude like you change your clothes. And creativity. You are a creative genius. I've been saying that ever since I came up with that idea in all the trainings that I've done through the years. And my accountant added this up, actually. I told Kat last night. 29,750 hours I've trained staging. Nobody on the planet has done that. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that through all that, I really had a lot of observations about others and about myself.
Well, they say when you train, you're really, because Jeff used to teach music, you're really giving to yourself, aren't you? You're training yourself as new ideas come about, as new material comes about. So yeah, that 29,000 is probably double that for you.
Well, you are so right, Kat. I have said to myself numerous times when I've been speaking or, training in the past, wow, I'm learning more than I'm even sharing with others, because the more you say it, repetition is the mother of learning.
Skills, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's what I say. Your 29,000 hours, I think, is double with what you have. Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. So I probably quote you, on a weekly basis, Barb.
Thank you.
And I've actually gone back. They're of course antiquated CD discs. You know, I'm trying to get them converted, but my other car had the CD player, and nothing is antiquated. It's as fresh as it was years ago, because they're truisms. I call them Barbisms, but they're truisms, really.
You know, people say staging's changed. No, it hasn't. Furniture changes, color changes, accessories change. What stays really important are three main things, plus some others: clean, clutter-free, and color.
The three C's. I did a Tuesday tip a couple of weeks ago. The three C's.
Yeah.
The color.
Yep. And I grew those to 7. Those 3 are the basis of it, though, because you need commitment from people and you need to be creative. These are all C's. And communication. How are you visiting
huge one? That's a huge one, Barb. That's probably one of the, I would say, most poignant things that I learned from you. And I literally have gotten business when I was up against, you know, interviews of multiple stagers where they just didn't know how to talk to them, you know, with your permission. And, you know, you know, it's amazing to me when stagers go in and criticize, oh, this is awful. And, oh, you've got, you know, it's like, you ain't doing business like that.
I mean, seriously, So, sweetheart, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing really well. I just looked at a little
We're doing very well.
Very well. Little heart clock. I love my little, where am I going? I love my little heart clock. So I set it down there.
Oh, that's cute. I have to look at my phone. Changing the channel, Barb. I love that. People can resonate with that. You know, in staging, particularly with investors, I always educate the investor that, you know, the older homes that you've refurbished, they're not necessarily going to have a TV room or a bonus room. So, you know, I invest in the faux TV. I said, we need to carve out a place for your faux TV, because when your potential buyer comes in, you know, they're going to want to know, where is the throne? Where do I have my remote? Okay. We don't want to give them any questions on, oh, I can't buy this house, there's no TV, because people don't buy what they don't see, right? We have to
exactly. You know, I have over
change the channel. Change the channel.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And that is, to me, so amazing. I love how you put it into a channel that people can relate to, because at any given moment, you know, we're not perfect.
No.
Even you, Barbara, we're not perfect. We make mistakes all the time. We have negative thoughts all the time. But as I try to teach one of my adult daughters, is it doesn't matter what you did or what you thought. It's what you think or you do next.
Exactly.
It's the next channel. It's the next channel. It's the next thought. So don't beat yourself up for, you know, feeling those negative thoughts.
No, you don't want anybody else beating you up. Why do we beat up ourselves? You know, you would never talk. Listen, please, closely. I hope you are. You would never say to your friend what you say to yourself. Be your own best friend. Because we could call, you know, ourselves, I don't want to even go there, but STUPID, or wow, you know, I'm not GOOD or whatever.
Or I'm not enough. And I want to talk about that just briefly, because I think every one of us struggle or have struggled with, particularly with the onslaught of media and magazines and filters and fake stuff, that we're not enough, or maybe not the perfect childhood. Now, Barbara, you're amazing to me, because I know a little bit of your history, and I'm not going to call out on anything, but let me just ask you this: Did you have a perfect childhood, Barb?
No, I did not, and I really thank God for what happened when I was 5 years old, because there was chaos going on and milk bottles being thrown against the refrigerator and all kinds of not good things. And I stood and looked out the windows. Kat, you know, I used to not share this, and I do now, and you're very kind to ask me. And I'll do this very quickly, is I just looked out the big picture window, and that was in a city called Little Town, Mulvane, Kansas, because I was raised also on a farm. and which I love. And it was like, wow, this doesn't seem right, is what my feelings were on the inside. And then all of a sudden, this almost voice inside, not out there, but you know how you get inklings and you hear little, ideas pop. It's like, this isn't right. Yep. And all is working for good. I was 5 years old. Now, I may not have said it that way. And the word I heard was love, is that we're all here to learn how to love and to teach each other how to love.
Wow. And that came out at 5. Wow.
That was the first time I ever heard anything. And I know it was a God thing. It was like a spirit that just, with all that going on. And
a few more years, Barb, to get to that through my highly dysfunctional.
You're not dysfunctional. You are a creative genius.
Well, I only mention this not to be negative, but because I know many of us have not lived perfect childhoods or have, but that's not an excuse to say, well, you know what, it doesn't serve you anymore. You're not a victim, and it doesn't serve you anymore. And to be again thankful. I know you are, Barb, and I am truly thankful for every single experience that I had, good and bad, because it helped us to grow and to learn what love, unconditional love is, and to share it with others. And without that, we would be in a different place without that.
Well, you are so on the dime there, Kat, because we learn more from mistakes. And never call yourself a failure. I'm saying this to everyone listening, because those are experiences, and you learn more from the experiences that don't go as well as you would like than having it go well. Now that can reinforce what you're doing, but the real lessons come from what maybe you were calling failure. Get rid of that word. You got to self-check the words that you are saying in your mind. Nobody else should do that like you. You need to do that yourself. Anyone listening, that's what we have to do with ourselves to really grow. And life is about growth.
Every day, right? Every day. We never stop growing and learning. It's so exciting. It's really exciting.
Is.
So where would you like to go next with this, my dear Barb?
Well, Sweetie Pie, what I'd like to do is to talk a little bit about gratitude. And I ask you, with your love and kindness as you listen and have the thoughts you're thinking, is we're not judging each other. And any of you that have studied with me or been around me, I don't lie. What's the point in that? Because the person you're lying to the most is yourself.
Right.
So I'm not bragging. That's not where my heart is. Maybe your heart's there. I hope not. It's not really about that. It's about sharing experiences. Because I'm probably the oldest one here in this group of experiences I've had that and greatly learned from. And so I have a few little things I'd like you to write down. And
so get your pen. So everybody that's watching, we're now going to give you everybody likes numbers. So it might be 3 steps. I don't know, Barb. I'll let you put the number. But these are practical things that you can do. Because, as Barb says, and I'm not too far behind you, Barb. So
no, you're not. No, you're there already.
I'm at an age. I've been on the planet for a minute, and through that, it is about sharing. So maybe someone out there gets an aha moment and doesn't have to go through the years of struggle and seeking. I mean, I think we're constantly seeking. I consider myself a seeker. I always will be. But maybe it can shorten that journey for you. And that's my hope, and I know Barb's hope for you too during this time.
I believe in God, and God wants us to be happy. Do you think actually God seriously said, well, I'm going to give birth, or, this couple, they're going to have a baby, and I really want that kid to grow up and be horrible. I want them to grow up and criticize themselves and feel that they're failing all the time. Really? And, I hope they get divorced, and I hope they get fired. And, well, they're just miserable. They'll get, I bet it'd be great to have them hooked on drugs. Do you think that the universe and God is saying that? No, we were created to have fun and be happy and to serve others. Yes. And to learn to love others and learn to love ourselves. That was hard for me to feel like I could love me. For me, you're faster than me. Most of you, I really feel that way, it took a while. And it's not a conceited love. It's really an appreciation and gratitude for the life you've been given, because there'll never be another you. Nobody ever is going to be you. So I want to go into gratitude. I have 5 things. One of them has 3 parts that perhaps you would write down, all of you, because, time goes so fast. And after, the segment's over, it's like, 2 hours later, what did she say? Write it down. I write things on the mirror with lipstick. I've got more than one mirror. And so, one mirror is where I can look, and the other is where I write things in bright red lipstick. And so, number 1, please write this down. Gratitude is my great multiplier. Gratitude is my great multiplier. You want more? You want to feel better? You want to have more solutions? Then be grateful more and more and more. Now, and number 2, I ask you to put A, B, and C, because I really feel this is good to every day, is when and as the day goes along. A is to really say to yourself, even out loud or write it down, keep a gratitude journal so you can just keep listing things. Leave it open in the kitchen because things will come to you, but then they're gone. So write it down. A is to be grateful for what you've already received, no matter what it was. I mean that. Great. Anything that doesn't go well, there's always something good in it for us to learn. Always. Even though it could be horrific. My daughter is celebrating a really big birthday on Sunday, really big. And so, some of you know she was in a horrible accident as a passenger and became brain damaged. And it's been a really interesting life for her. Oh my goodness. And so I was so like, and then it was like, wait a minute, she could have died. I'm so grateful she's here. And the worst that I believe came from God and the universe. I wouldn't let the doctors say, well, she'll never get better. Are you kidding? So I started having the doctors and myself say words, not if, but as soon as. And so then later, those words, I said, I'm going to start to use them with my clients too. So actually, look at that good that has come through Andrea, that came thoughts to me that then I've taught over 1,300,000 people, and they've heard them, and then they pass them on with their families. And so there's good in everything. So what you've received already, be grateful. Letter B, what you're receiving right now, in the moment. I have dry mouth. I don't know. It's something from medicines or something.
So I'm going to piggyback on your cup, your glass there, Barb.
Yeah.
And parlay to what you just said, to be grateful for what you have. And some might say, well, I don't really have a lot. Everything is in the toilet, yada, yada, yada. So one thing I read that really made sense to me is to empty the glass. Empty the glass. Have it completely empty. And the metaphor is now fill the glass one by one with what you do have. Like in Barb's case, she didn't have a brain damaged daughter, she had a living, breathing daughter that she could instill hope in. And of course, in that, it parlayed into other metaphorical creativity in life itself, that not, if, it's when. It's not, all of your erase, replace.
Right.
Right. And it's all tied into that positivity. Okay. Because thoughts do become things.
Absolutely.
Change your thoughts, change your world. You changed your world. You changed your world, Barb, with your thoughts. And so can you out there.
We all change
thought like that.
Yeah. And it's really what we expect is what we get. So expect greatness. And you know what people look at the most is what's not working. Well, look what you're focusing on. How do you, seriously, change your focus should change your life. And what we're receiving now, even though, because this is really true, the average human being does not have an aha or really get it that you're receiving. I'm receiving, all of us are receiving way more than we give. So really write things down, write them on your heart, in your mind, on paper, wherever. You cannot tell me there isn't something you don't have that to be grateful for.
If you think you have nothing, I remember, may he rest in peace, my ex-father-in-law was very wise in so many different ways. And he would say, I'd say, well, how are things going? And he had a slew of things to be negative about, from health to, fighting to a lot of things. He says, if I was any better, he says, I am thankful for this chair that I'm sitting on.
Oh, I love you.
And all of the people that it took to manufacture it and get it shipped and get it put together. That just gives me chills. So if you think you have nothing to be grateful for, you need to take another look, take another look, because you're alive and breathing.
Right.
I'll be driving in the car and just go, I'm so, when I don't want to go work out, which I'm going to after this, and abuse myself, I'm like, I'm so thankful. I'm not going to complain about my bad knee and my bad shoulder, my bad back. I'm so grateful I'm able to do it.
Bless your heart. Absolutely. Absolutely. We had the power go out, Kat, for about a day and a half. And it came to me that people really, may gripe about it, or whatever word we want to use on that. The power's out, but I can't do this and that. And yet, when it's on, which is most of the time, do you and I walk around saying, I'm so grateful for the electricity? We do a complaint and get all moody when it goes out. Well, we need to celebrate it all the times that we have it. Think where you'd be without plumbing, or without water, or without electricity.
For granted, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Thankful for this technology bringing us all together.
It's really true. So, thank you, love. And letter C is, this is a key. It really is to be thankful for what you want in the future. Now, as we talk about thankful from the past, thankful in the present, also letter C is to be thankful for the things we're planning and thanking on. Be open to change, because they can modify and even be better. And here's a big part of it. And pretend you already have it.
As if
you are living in that gratefulness. Before it even gets to you, it is going to come to you so much faster. What did I say first? Gratitude is your great multiplier. So it's in the past, now, and what is coming for the future. It's really, really true.
It is so true, Barb, what you just said. And, some people might think, oh, well, that's just hooey or far out, it's not real. Well, I want to tell you, from a biological cellular structure, it actually is. It's not just a coin saying thoughts become things. If you concentrate and imagine and focus on things as if they have already happened, guess what? Your energy, which we are all energy, goes out into the cosmos, into the universe, and all of a sudden, miraculously,
ripple
will
effect.
appear, experiences will appear, things will happen that are magical. You think they're magical. It's because of the magic of the thoughts and what you just said, Barb, imagining it as it already is.
Exactly. And, thank you, because they have proven with, doctors and researchers is that let's take, someone that was in war in a prison camp, seriously, and to click off every day for 5 years, they found that prisoners in that case, but it's also true for all of us, and we're not hopefully prisoners, don't think that way, is that by swinging the golf club in your mind, and that's what McCain did, was to visualize that and do it with his body as best as he could, and all the parts of golf, because he hadn't played for years and years. In fact, he didn't think he was a good player at all. And what happens is that the body mirrors what you're thinking about, and it actually goes in your muscles. It's true. We have muscle memory. It's really true. And then people that have gotten out of hospitals that were thinking about what they want to create, or in that case, the sad thing about a prison camp, or sitting us in our car and thinking, it's true. Go through each moment and be thankful for it before you ever have it. And that's gratitude. So I have another one I'd like you to write down. This gives me a lot of courage, and that is, most of us know Albert Einstein and who he is. I mean, most of us around the whole planet. And I love this because I've read some of his things, is that, get this, he really knew and believed in gratitude. And his goal was to be grateful and say it and name the item over 100 times a day.
Wow.
Where are you? Where am I on that? Is it 2? Is it none? 100. That's my goal every day. He said that his inner and outer life was affected by always focusing on gratitude. And you don't have to say it out loud. Maybe you're walking down the hall. Then all of a sudden something comes to you. I'm really grateful for the artwork here in the hall, because I am. And that has given me such a goal to work towards. Man is a genius. So who could really look the other way? Look what happened from gratitude.
Yeah, that's amazing. He might have had some good brain genes too. But it just tells you with all his. But he knew scientifically. You have to know also that he knew scientifically the backstory to that it actually was part of making a manifestation of reality. His
manifestation.
His exuberant gratefulness.
That's the word that came to me when you were speaking. It's really about manifestation, and what you think is what you create. That's why God gave us this amazing brain and body. I mean, it's you're creating right now. You're digesting your breakfast or lunch or whatever. I mean, really, there isn't anything when you believe in you that you cannot do. And that is the honest to God truth.
That is so true.
You know, the millions of people that said to me, staging, that doesn't make sense. Nobody will ever do that. And for 10 years, I observed the behavior before I ever taught a thing, and fine-tuned it over and over and over again, and living in the moment like a laser beam. And then later in the 80s started traveling and speaking, and that led to the 90s. And
But you believed in your own truth, Barb, and I think that's it. We
How
think
could I not? I mean, I know it works.
happiness is outside of us because we're taught that it's outside of. If we get a new car, if we do this, we do that, and we listen to people saying, "No, you can't do that, and you can't do that, and you can't do that." You're listening to other people's truths. You listened to what you call, I know, your inner knower, which is our intuition, which is our truth. We are a soul housed in a body, and the soul doesn't reside anywhere. Okay. It's your essence. And how can you not believe in your essence? Don't let any outside influences tell you what your truth is. And you're living proof of that, Barb.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. You are too. And all of us are. And we may manifest things that are good or really good. It's focusing on what you want, not on what you don't want.
Yes.
So the next thing that I'd like to share, because I really am serious on this, and I shared already that what I believe in is sharing truth. And my truth is that every single time, and I'm not innocent, every time, I really at least recommend you adopt this. I get an idea in the house when I'm staging, in other homes staging, every single time I actually say, thank you, God and universe, for that great idea. I'm so grateful. And I'm not making that up. I don't know how to live without doing that. Thank you so much. In the moment I love that idea I just got, I thank the universe right then. The energy, God's energy. I just say it right then. I can say it out loud. I can say it in me. So I'm not probably at 100. It's my goal. It's then to apply it to other things that are happening. I'm glad to have my toothbrush. My gosh, it broke. For 3 days, I didn't have it. And I want to give gratitude as I have it, even when it was broke. So ideas that you get, I was putting up curtains, like shears on a curtain rod. And so, we just stuff them on the rod and they gather sort of, and we push them back. And I thought, I don't like that. That's not good because it's always creeping out. And immediately the thought came to me, because the more I'm grateful for the ideas, the more they come. And it's really
it
true.
Multiplies.
They just keep coming and coming and coming. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take my finger, and should a stager be seeing this when I was doing it, they probably say, oh, some of them wouldn't, but some would. You can't keep it in there. Yeah. I took my finger and I took the end of it and I tucked it back inside of itself just with my first finger. And all of a sudden it held. And so I did it on the other end too. And it was just turning it in. I thought,
there you go.
I mean, seriously,
Barb, because I've done that. I must have, somehow metamorphosed that from you.
Yeah.
Because, as designers and stagers, we're, some things that would bother. It's like tags. Oh, tags. But that would be like a tag, right? That little flap sticking out.
Right. And bless your heart. And as we do this, say that you're grateful, thank for it, because you just keep coming and coming. The other day I was staging a house, and in the bathroom and the bedroom, she had all this costume jewelry. She said it wasn't worth a dime, and she wouldn't care at all if something disappeared. That's what she said. I picked, because it was just piled all over the place. I picked a color theme, and she had so many towel bars and towels. It's like too many pillows on the bed or the sofa. We got to take some of them off, or you can't even get in. So I picked the colors I wanted, and on this really pretty, towel rod, I just started hanging them. I put it up, fastened it. I took a bracelet, I wrapped it over. I took a ring like this, sort of, kind of, and I took, fishing line, and I hung it down, and then I built it more and more with other rings, so it became like a bracelet. And the next thing, I had a piece of art right there with the others. And you think I'm not going to thank for that? It's like, oh, see, get excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, look, this is so wonderful. I love it. Thank you for the idea. Wherever, universe, you're so wonderful. God, I love you so much. It just keeps coming and coming.
I'm trying to envision that, Barb. I'd love to see a picture of that. That sounds
well, I'll take a picture and put it up because I know where I know.
Do that. I know. You're in the right industry when you get so excited about things like that. This was last year. One of my stagers who's compromised health-wise, so she hasn't been able to stage with us this year. Bless her heart. If you're out there, Sally, we miss you. But we had done a family room with a real wide black and white striped rug, a gray couch, and so black and white was our base, and we brought in, I forget what pop of color. And the dining area was open to this kind of family room, and we had pillow shams that were black and white striped, and she took it upon herself to take the pillow shams and make placemats.
All right, I love it.
I was like,
That's right. And I love to do that. And do it in the moment. Have fun when you're staging and celebrate everything and be grateful. And the more ideas and the more ideas and the more ideas, there's no stopping them as we live in a state of gratitude and do it right then, because later on that may slip out of mind. And so,
as you say, Barb, and I think this was a quote by Oprah, actually, she says, you'll end up having more if you concentrate. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never have enough.
No.
Because you're coming from lack, right?
That's right. And people do some come from lack. And they get jealous and they may not tell the truth and different things because they're in fear of lack.
They're in fear of lack. And what about comparing, Barb? Because, some people might say, oh, well, I can't put one color against the other. That's not the only element of creativity, right?
Right. And the first, I thought of this in bed because I was with you all evening in my grief. Is that, when you learn to ski, those of us that have, and I am on the journey of learning, is that you want to lean back into the hill. You really have to lean out over your skis. And it feels like, this is opposite. Just what you're talking about, Kat. Same thing. We got to get out over our skis and visualize what we want and be grateful for it in the now and celebrate. No wonder some of us are miserable because we're focusing on the wrong things.
And don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to others because your truth, your creativity, it may be in a whole nother universe of, spectrum. And,
totally.
I think sometimes it takes being thankful, of course, but getting quiet sometimes to find out, whether you meditate or whether you just pray or whether you just be the silent observer of your thoughts, because you can be the silent observer of those negative thoughts and not act on them and decide to make it a positive thought. And it really is, Barb, it comes down to hugging ourselves and loving ourselves first.
Yes. And please write this sentence down, everyone. And, put it on your mirror, wherever, hang it on, the refrigerator or whatever, is that the only competition I have is myself. You see, we're always comparing ourselves. Money. Well, she gets more stagings. What are you doing? You're pushing it all out there. You want to bring it in. It's like, be grateful for you and what you do. And really, are you living up to your great potential? So I did this earlier in my careers. I was like, wait a minute, why am I comparing myself? The only competition I really have is, am I doing my best? Am I doing all that I can do? Am I as productive as I really say I want to be? Because nobody else is you. And to compare yourself to them, excuse my phrase here, is a joke.
It's not apples to apples. And,
right.
Barb, my instructor at this Spenga, it's called, workout place. They do 20 minutes on the bike. I mean, hardcore, 20 minutes of weightlifting, hardcore, and then 20 minutes of yoga. And that's where they got me, because the yoga. And the first day that, I was getting coached, the instructor said, just remember, you are competing with you, no one else. And I could not have embraced that even 5 years ago, because, we're in a very competitive world. The external 3D world is very competitive. Yeah. Which it never changes. I thought, I'm not going to not go and do this for my body because I can't keep up because of, surgery on my knee, or I'm going to adjust and I'm going to get better based on competing with me and not compare myself. And that, that's been a challenge, but it's so liberating when you do it, when you stop looking outside.
I have this pet term because I was raised, you're exactly right. I was raised, more or less in the South and on the farm. And the thing is, seriously, live in the moment, and only competition you have is yourself. And instead of saying, I am going to, no. I just shared this on the phone with a gentleman, the husband of a stager that has cancer. And he's like, I'm going to get better. No. I mean, I built rapport with him first. I'm not going to go. And so on Zoom, we did this. And I said, please repeat after me. I am better this moment and here forward. I am. When they landed on the moon, which comes out of the Bible, is I am. Now, I'm talking about I am healing. I am communicating with my son better. And that is what you will manifest. Stop all this stuff, because you need to listen to yourself. Yeah, speak, because many of us don't even realize the words that we're saying. It's really, really true. I'm really into this. Because how do you improve without realizing what you're thinking and you're saying? And to do that, do you want 40 other people to criticize you? No, you want to be your own self, healer, or your own self decision maker about what's coming in your brain and out of your mouth. Who runs your life? Somebody else? Is it your husband? Is it your sister? Is it your neighbor? Or is it you? Who's in control? It needs to be you. And so by saying, I am losing weight this very moment, and it really works, and you stay in that, because now there's another moment, not I'm gonna, it's now, because you put it way off, and that's why it's not happening. So anyway, dear heart.
So many people, right? That's so poignant, Barb. Many people are like, well, I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds, I get a new car, I get a new job, and I know I'm on another topic, happy, and we're going to do a whole nother segment on joy when we get into the holidays, but it's now. It's now. It's not gratefulness is not out here. It's an inside. It's an inside job. I had a client, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell this, but she texted me and she goes, honey, I'm not looking to flatter you or anything, but how do you stay so beautiful and cool with your hair and your clothes and your this and your that? And I'm like, I gave her a big, long answer. But then I said, dear friend, it really comes down to coolness is an inside job.
That is a great thing to say. That goes right back to what I said about what attitude are you wearing in this moment.
Yes.
Seriously, because you're wearing it all over you, everybody.
It's an extension. Staging is an extension.
When you walk in the room, you can put your hands out and feel the energy of the person. You see somebody's face immediately, and we're not judging. We're really, it's to just feel it, feel the environment, feel the people, and you could almost put your hands out, which I have done in classes past, is to feel that people go, "Oh, you're right." And so what are you projecting with the attitude you're wearing? Now, I have one more thing I'd like to leave you with. And, as I do this, there's so many things to be grateful for right now. right now. Look around you. So many things. Look outside of yourself. Look inside of yourself. The gifts you have. And we are in the age of COVID. And first of all, as I said, is what are you wearing? Change it. Flip the channel. And creativity. How much creativity? We complain, but where's your creativity to solve it? Don't tell me the problem. Give me solutions. People gripe all over Facebook and everywhere else. They're not giving solutions. I wrote to a group last night that I observed, and I said, I would recommend focus on what you want the group to be and quit complaining about what it isn't. They have no principles. They've got to have a mission statement, the whole thing. That's a whole other topic, but it's really important. So as I say about, the age of COVID, we know what they tell us to do to be safe. It's your decision, not mine, because I'm not making you do anything. You can't make anybody else do anything. Sometimes we get married and we say, well, I'm going to change him. Really? That's a joke.
Yeah.
So I came up with this little sentence, and I hope you really like it, because we're talking about vaccines a lot. They're coming. That's what they say. And they keep multiplying. There's more and more companies coming, and those days are coming. Believe it. Talk about solutions. And then I thought this, you know what? I hope that you'll adopt this. My gratitude is my own vaccine.
I like it.
My gratitude is my own vaccine, because as you live in a state of gratitude, you're immune. You really are.
You are.
To other criticism, to people poking fun, to people making judgments about you, to thinking of you, thinking negative ideas. That is a vaccine for your spirit.
It is. It absolutely is. So if you are having relatives over this Thanksgiving and you've got, Uncle Bob that drinks too much and Aunt Nelda who criticizes, just take Barb's advice and you will be protected, vaccinated, if you will, because you're going to change your thoughts. You're going to be thankful, and your gratefulness and thankfulness will be your vaccine to live joyfully, thankfully.
And you can share it at the dinner table, maybe, whether there's 2 of you or 5 of you or whatever.
There you go.
I want to share with you, Kat. I'm very grateful for you. I really, really am.
Oh, thank you.
I'm grateful you asked me to share. It's my joy to do it anytime you want to ask. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for each of you listening, watching now, or the recording later, wherever you are. I am how can I not be grateful for you as a stager or whatever industry you're in, because you have your creativity. That I'm grateful for you having the creativity. And I ask you to be grateful for your creativity and genius too. I love you all
so much. Thank you so much, Barb. Such words of wisdom. And I just ask you, I'm grateful for all of you out there who watch this. And if there's anything here that resonates with you, or maybe a family member or a friend, please share it, comment. We love your comments, but please share it. Maybe you don't have the words to share, to articulate with someone that you care about who maybe needs this message, or maybe you need the message. But in either case, I just ask that you would share it, listen to it again and again. It will be posted on YouTube as the rest of our episodes. If you have not subscribed to our channel, we're seeking to get 100 subscribers so we can get our own unique URL, but and we're upping, I think, in the 60s right now. Thank you so much.
Yay!
And so just search right now "Ta-Da by Kat" in the YouTube section there, just ta-da by Cat, and we'll come up. And make sure you hit the bell because you'll get notified once we have new content, which we have new content every week. So I hope you all have a wonderful, safe, enlightened, and thankful rest of your day and weekend. And I won't be coming back to you till Black Friday. We'll have another special guest. As always, I ask that you stay positive, that you stay hopeful. And I'm going to add in there, stay grateful and stay connected. We're grateful and we're so happy that you connected with Barb and I today. And namaste to you all. Blessings to you all, and we will catch you next week. Thank you so much, Barb.
Thank you.